And this is another game that I just think looks fantastic, and it also features artwork by Beth Sobel, who always does a fantastic job. But this is a bidding abstract strategy set collection game where players are each going to be starting the game with a bunch of different tokens of varying values, and you're going to be using these to put out on a grid of tiles in order to try and gain those tiles to create different sets. Each of the tiles will score in various ways depending on the different sets of those tiles that you get, but there'll also be a wild tile that gets you a bit of flexibility but is also very desirable. And then there are other tiles that can actually give you special actions, like a tile that if you gain it, you'll be able to draw objective cards, which will give you other opportunities to score and create different types of sets. And then there's also another tile that gives you negative points, but also allows you to draw several tiles from the pile and then choose one to add into your supply. The game plays over just 2 rounds, and at the start of each round you're going to have a full grid of tiles out on the table, and then players are just going to be taking turns choosing one of their bid tokens and putting it out on one of those tiles. But there are some placement rules, because you always have to place a bid token that is higher than the one that was previously placed, and you also have to put it on a tile that is adjacent to where the previous one was placed. Or if you don't want to put one of your tokens out, you can always choose to pass, but then once all the players pass, only the player that put the last token out on the board is going to be earning their tile. And a cool thing here is that when they take that tile, they actually leave their token out on the board, so they won't be able to use it for the rest of that round, and you're going to be flipping it to the other side to indicate that that spot was taken. That player also gets the privilege of starting the next turn, which is actually quite a big deal, and I'll come back to that in a second. But all the other players have the option to either take their tokens back into their supply or to put one of them up on this track on the separate board. And at the end of the round, whichever player has the highest bid tokens out here is going to have their first choice of the tiles out on this board. But as you're playing this game and more tiles are removed from the grid, you're going to end up in certain situations where it's not possible for another player to put a token adjacent to you because there's no open spots left. And in that case, you just immediately gain that tile. And like I said, you get to start the next turn, so if you set it up just right so that there's other tiles that are completely blocked off, if you were to put your starting token directly on a single tile, then you will just immediately win that tile. So this little detail introduces a whole bunch of strategy into the game, because not only are you trying to get the tiles that you want to try and complete your sets, but you're also trying to take the tiles from the particular locations that are best going to set you up for the following rounds for hopefully some easy pickings. And I think I'm going to have to do it. This one's also going to have to be my pick of the week. I know this one's a bit of a lighter game, but it's just doing so many things right in a set collection game, which is a genre that I don't normally like for a lot of reasons that this game avoids. But we also have 30 games to cover this week, and there are going to be some other great contenders for pick of the week. And because I have the memory of the goldfish, I can't process that all at once, so there might be another game that I cover that might also be my pick of the week, so just prepare for more of this as this video continues. First of all, I love the amount of affordance that this game offers the players, because you do get to see all the tiles that are available at the start of each round, which means you do get to plan for the tiles that you want to get, and you do get to see the other tiles that players are taking, which allows you to more strategically select the sets that you want to go for. And that might not sound like such a big deal, but this is a huge issue that I have with so many set collection games, because a lot of set collection games just don't give you a lot of information. This means that you could just inadvertently pick something that other players are going for or not going for, which just makes it feel very random, and like a lot of it just isn't in my control. Not only that, but this one also has those wild tokens that does give more flexibility to your set collection, but then obviously all the other players are going to want that as well, so it does make it very valuable. And I think the strategic element here with the way that you're gathering those tiles creates a lot of opportunity to try and force the other players to let you get that tile. And that concept itself is just super rewarding, so I love that this game rewards you so much for being strategic with the way that you take your tiles. And it's not only about getting specific tiles for your sets, it's also about which tiles you take in the grid. The objective cards are also a nice touch because it gives you even more flexibility and allows you to roll with the punches if you're not exactly getting the sets that you're trying to go for. And yes, there are global objective cards as well, And I wish I saw these images before I started filming this video, because these ones are much better at showcasing the game, but here they are. And if you are interested in this campaign like I am, you can check it out. I do have it linked in the description below, and of course you can click to get notified. And it's only $29. Spoiler alert, but I am probably going to be backing this one.